Alright, here we go. Practical Tactics for Men, Part 1, Your Day Job. Sorry, it's backwards. And sorry, I'm actually not going to dig into what I had written in this guide for men. This is the first of 12 entries. I know I said I might be getting off Facebook, and I don't know. But I hope you guys are doing well today. It's Friday, the Friday before Labor Day. The sun is definitely out here in the south. It's beautiful. So whatever plans you all have for Labor Day, I hope you're blessed if you're going camping or staying home or whatever you're doing. So, our big word today is V for vocation. It looks like I only have 6 minutes, so I better make it snappy and optimized for you guys. Vocation is a person's calling, especially a Christian. For men, it's to work. Out somewhere. Do something out in the field, so to speak. For women, it is to be at home. This goes all the way back to Genesis 3. Even when Adam and Eve were in the garden, before sin came in, Eve was given to Adam as a helper, made from his rib. As God said, it's not good for the man to be alone. I will give him a helper that is suitable for him. And it says he put the man into a deep sleep, and he took a rib from his side and closed up the place with flesh. And from it he formed a woman. And when Adam saw her, he was glad and said, "This at last is flesh of my flesh and bone of my bones. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man." And then we see that vocation is each person has their own separate calling. A man is out in the field working, as we said, to obtain money, to work the ground. The woman her vocation is to bear children and to be her husband's helper. And this is emphasized even after the fall, after Satan tempts Eve and Adam eats the fruit with her and the world is plunged into sin, the evil serpent having infiltrated the garden. The punishment, first God punishes the serpent, Satan. He says, "I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you shall strike his heel." Next, he speaks to Eve. He says, "Because you have done this, I will greatly increase your pain in childbirth. Your desire will be for your husband, but he shall rule over you." So we have vocation. Bearing children, it's going to be painful. Both the act itself and raising children. And your desire will be for your husband. You're going to desire to usurp his authority, to be against him, but he shall rule over you. So ladies, you have to put to death in your vocation the desire to go work outside of the home. It's not good. And you also have to put to death the feminist impulse to be against your husband. But patriarchy is the name of the game. It's not whether but which. Will we have an evil patriarchy where women go and don't submit to their husbands, but they go and have a boss outside of the house? Or will they submit and love to the husband who cares for them and be his helper? And the calling for him is to be righteous and to be hardworking. So now we're going to focus mainly on the men. In the curse, God says, "Cursed is the ground because of you. Thorns and thistles it shall bear. And by the sweat of your brow you shall eat of it all the days of your life. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return." So it's going to be hard, dudes, as we know. Literally sweat on our brow if we're working outside and sweating. Deadlines, rude people on the phone, rude people in person who didn't get enough sleep last night or they're hungover. Whatever. Stress of schedules. Our own difficulties if we stayed up late. There's a lot of hardships, right? So the goal is to work out, and the goal is to have vision and mission, ideally involving our wives and our children as much as possible as we seek to make money. So probably the worst job I ever had in terms of the combination of income and not being outside was I was working in a warehouse for $12 an hour, as I mentioned, back in 2016 to 17. It was tough, but in terms of vocation, I was making money, enough to live off of, just barely, and I had an opportunity to share the gospel. And that particular opportunity, even though it was bleak and in a warehouse and $12 an hour, by God's grace, there was truckers coming from all over the Northwest region where we lived at the time, and I was able to share the gospel with a lot of them. And then they, in turn, hopefully some of them believed, and they were traveling all over the country. So the reason I say that is vocation is not only making money, but it's seeking the kingdom of God where we are at. As I mentioned, ideally, it's involving our wife and our children. And so for the past 5 years or so, one way I involve my wife in my vocation is, number one, if I have a job outside of the house, I try to share each Friday. I take 10 minutes to think about what good things happened. What did I learn? How did I grow? What opportunities did I have for the God's kingdom to help people? And I make a list of that and I share it with my wife, because she's at home caring for the children, and it gives her a peek into the outside world of how her making me meals and taking care of my children at home, that directly impacts me and equips me to do these missional things out in the world. And she shares in that, so I want to encourage her and share her with her, so I give her an update. The way I involve my children, the way that we can, is if you have side hustles, you can involve them working with you. You can share those updates with them. And in all of this, the goal is to have a 100-year vision to equip your children and your grandchildren with income, with vocation, with help, with vision of the mission of God. Sorry, I'm out of time. I hope this has blessed you.